Okay, so next.
Hey, now listen, I have to go.
No, you don't. You want to go. You don't have to go.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it takes me a while to pack up and stuff.
She's going to visit her friend Carrie. She's from Japan. What's her last name?
Oki.
Yes, karaoke.
Are you gonna? I wonder how long. I could maybe stay for one more game.
Yeah, you should say this because I'll show you the one that Shankland missed.
Okay.
It's very complicated.
All right, well, we have to
very complicated.
focus on chess so
Okay.
I can get to karaoke.
So it's a Sicilian, and he played the knight orf. You've seen this position. You've had black in this position.
I have.
Okay, and he played bishop e3, and the game ended knight g4, bishop c1, knight. Now that games have ended that way. Okay, e5. Now you can play knight b3 or knight f3, and previous in this tournament twice, Domínguez played knight b3. Oh, I'm sorry. Domínguez played knight b3 and beat MVL. Caruana played knight b3 and drew MVL. So he played knight f3. He figured Sam wouldn't expect that. That's also a move. Okay. And it's a fight for d5, and you have to fight for your right to control d5. Da, 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 da. You know what song that is?
Yeah, fight for your right to party.
By?
Is it Run DMC?
No.
Who is it?
Beastie Boys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I had the right kind.
Man, you be illin'.
I had the
All right.
right kind of band. Hey, Big Daddy.
Yeah. Go Spencer.
Going.
The karaoke. Yeah.
I don't think he's going.
That interview was bad manners. What interview? Spence, you going to karaoke? Go Spencer. Okay.
He's there.
So he played this because he wants to get in here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. He starts in the middle and he wants to penetrate. Now in this position, Shankland said Shankly ridiculous. He literally didn't care about that. He castled and said, "So what?" And when he said that, Wesley walked over and said, "Did somebody?" Okay. Bishop b6. If you play queen e8, knight c7 forks your queen and rook. So queen d7. So this looks a little jumbled, but as I was watching the game, I noticed Sam had all of his time left, so this is still his prep. Mm-hmm. All right, and this is fine. This position's fine for black. Okay, so he decides to castle queenside. He plays queen here to castle, attacking this d pawn. He decides to fight for d5. And now he attacks the bishop. Bishop moves away. Attacks the bishop. Again, different bishop. And then here. So Shankland got like reorganized at the cost of this pawn, but then this pawn is hanging, right? And I showed this position to Mr. Cooper. He was very happy about the two hanging pawns. You know why?
No.
They were hanging with Mr. Cooper.
I don't know that reference.
It's like the worst television show of all time.
Oh.
Yeah, except for Two Broke Girls. I apologize.
I don't even know the good shows.
Well, that's not a good show.
I know.
Sometimes Two Broke Girls comes on after I'm watching something, and after like 6 seconds, I like break the TV. It's so bad after seconds. You're like, oh my God, this is the worst show ever. You have to watch it for like a minute to understand how bad it is. Like if you made the worst show you could possibly make, that show's worse. You couldn't make a worse show.
All right, but we have chess.
No, I'm serious.
I know.
Like you think like no you can't. You'd be like, how do I make it worse than that? Yeah, yes, it was that bad. It was worse. See, yes, yep, horrible. Yeah, they know. Yeah, hanging with Mr. Cooper also not good.
All right, now let's stay on task because I gotta go to chess.
Okay. Yeah, you got to do something. Okay, so he took, which is bad. The engine says bishop g5 is best, which nobody would ever play. Ridiculous. Okay, he took. You could also take this, which the engine even likes better. Okay, so here white's fine. Knight d2's a very bad move. Shouldn't do that.
Oh.
And then bishop c5. These moves are all bad.
What was a better move?
Any move. Just leaving the knight there. If he takes and you take back, you have the open g file and the two bishops. The bishop's blocked.
Okay.
Yeah, this is just a bad move. Yeah. Now this g pawn is hanging for a long time. It's not hanging immediately because rook g1 attacks the bishop. And then you could take this bishop because the g pawn's pinned.
Oh, yeah.
So you got to watch it. Okay. Also bad. Yeah, and now white's in a lot of trouble. So his bishop's attacked, this pawn's attacked. So he bailed out rook here. That's fine. Bishop g2 is correct. Everything's correct. And black's just up a pawn. Okay, the only compensation Domínguez has is his opponent Shankland. That's his compensation, right? If Magnus was black here, they would forfeit him for salivating at the mouth at the board, and it's all wet, and come on. All right, knife f5, bishop d5. Knife, yeah, that move's also a mistake because it allows knight e4. Terrible move. Okay, then he's like, yay, a pawn, I'm Shankland. But now knight takes is winning because of the pin. So he's not even better anymore. So he retreats his bishop, always retreat. Bishop takes f7 because the rook is overworked. Shankland correctly plays king h8. Okay, now Domínguez starts playing badly. Domínguez should play bishop h5 because this controls the e2 square. You'll see why that's important. Now, if I move the bishop, which he did, now I'm threatening rook takes d4 because the rook's not defended anymore. Play rook takes d4 right away, you could just take and then take this bishop. So by moving the bishop away, you're threatening this. If you play bishop h5, you're stopping rook e2. That's the only square he can go to on the 7th rank. Can't go here. And the reason this is good is because it attacks the knight and it threatens checkmate. That's a pretty good move. Rook here's pretty good. Attacks the knight and checkmate. So bishop h5, stopping rook e2 and threatening this, and the engine says it's equal. Instead, he played this blunder, very bad move. Okay, and now the engine says after g6, black has a huge advantage because we're stopping, this. Okay, but he played rook e2, which ended up working out. It shouldn't work out. Now, Domínguez should get luft, either a3 or a4, stopping this mate. Okay, and then his bishop defends his knight, and the engine says it's equal because he's threatening this pawn, which he's not threatening now because of checkmate. But Domínguez was too clever by half. He played rook g1, very bad move, knight f5. Now, white is still in the game if he gets luft, but he made double question mark move. His double question mark move drew immediately. Okay, he played bishop here, and they repeated. Draw. Okay, instead of repeating, Shankland could win. Okay, but Shankland knows always repeat. After bishop e6, watch this win. You watching? Now Shankland saw that, and Shankland saw that, and he knew if he took the bishop, he'd get mated, and he knew if he moved his rook, this looks devastating. Okay, that's why Shankland didn't play this. But rook f4 actually wins. The reason it wins is if you take this pawn, now you're threatening mate. I take with this rook, so my king has f8. And if you check, you can't check me once I go to f8. And if you do this, thinking I'm threatening mate and mate, so I'm going to draw anyway, this stops everything. And now black is plus 1,000. Goes up a piece. But I'm guessing Shankland didn't look at rook f4 because allowing this seems insane. But it turns out this wins. If he calculated a little further, he could have won. Now you can't play rook takes g7 because of what I just showed you. So you got to save your bishop somehow. And then I played g6. And that's white's attack is over. Black's up a pawn. This is indefensible. This pawn's weak after I take that. So black should win here. Maybe he wouldn't win because he's Shankland, but it's probably, Magnus Carlsen all day. Bishop here. That stops everything. And I'm sure that Shankland thought, I'm not playing black in this position. I don't blame him. But somehow this wins. It's amazing by vacating the square, there's nothing white can do. Yeah. So Shankland was winning in the final position, but always repeat. So I can't blame him. Etc.